there's this one little park that wouldn't be worth mentioning called College Point Fields, which is a bunch of ball fields. Were it not for the fact that I saw something interesting there one day.
Yeah, what was it?
I was applying sunblock, as is my hobby, and I was leaving the park, and there was an older gentleman there at the entrance with 3 crates. 2 of them were empty, and one of them, of about 4 feet by 2 feet size, with a lot of wooden grates on them, contained something like 20 pigeons or thereabouts.
Ooh.
And it was clear from that they were, either racing or homing. They were trained pigeons.
Cool.
And I was interested in talking to the man, but he was talking about the pigeons on the phone to somebody else.
Gotcha.
So, I just kept walking on my way. And very shortly thereafter, the flock of remaining pigeons in that one crate flew over my head. Again, 20 or 30 of them, all flying in a ball.
Whoa.
And all like flapping at it's seemingly like the same rate.
Wow.
And they kind of shot off a couple of avenues down straight away. And then they started doubling back in small circles. Kind of like how I would describe one of those tops that have a pen on the top.
A doodle top.
A doodle top, sure. And you let it go on a piece of paper, perhaps with some cavalier attitude, rather than like trying to keep it in one space. And it shoots across half of the page and then does one little turn and then goes a little bit further and does another little turn and then progressively makes smaller and smaller circles while still going in a line. And so at first I thought, I don't know. I mean, I've heard stories of pigeons going for miles, so I don't know. I thought, like, they must be gone. I'm not going to see them. But as I kept walking, they ended up going along the route that I was going.
That's amazing.
And I was able to...
Did you think they were tracking you?
No, I did not have that type of thought. I started to notice that, again, they were, like, circling smaller and smaller, and I guess they were, locating what they thought was their home.
Yeah.
And ultimately, I did see them land. I didn't actually, I guess I can't say I didn't see them land in particular. All of a sudden, they were gone, and then 15 or 20 steps later, the buildings opened up, and I was able to see a man in a roost securing it.
Yeah.
So it must have been the liaison of the older man. Unless the man drove past me, but I don't think so. I think he I think he was talking to the guy, and the guy locked them up. But it was fascinating to see. I would really love to talk to somebody that deals with pigeons in some respect in the city, because it's kind of like the ham radio of New York City. Like, it is a thing that, like Mike Tyson had pigeons. Like,
really?
This is a thing that...
I did not know that.
It's been going on for, I mean, I don't know, it might even be over a century. I don't know. Pigeons have a storied history that, eclipses their rat like tendencies right now.
Yeah.
We actually passed by a closed pet store today that promoted pigeon feed.
It's true. And then there was something that looked like a roost on top of there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would have been nervous if I was with you. I'm scared of pigeons.
Yeah.
Because I think all the pigeons need to be trained. We gotta get the pigeons back in the roost.
I thought it was cool, and hopefully.
I mean, I also think it's cool. I just have a fear of pigeons, and if they were all you said they all flew over my head, like that sounds terrifying.
Yeah. This is a bit of an aside, but I think it fits because we're seeing all these like random one-off things, which are great. I mean, I love it, and I can't wait to see more of them each week. There was something that I noticed today, which is unique to doing the same thing 5 times in a row, which is that you see changes that are really subtle, but they're dramatic to you because you're they're interruptions in a pattern. So, week 1 I saw the porta potties were blown over.
Right,
Or
yeah.
not week 1, week 2.
That was week 2.
This
yeah,
week
that was crazy.
I was going to use the restroom, and a urinal went from like in service to like covered in a garbage bag and like caution tape.
Oh God, what happened there?
I don't know. But
Yikes.
it wouldn't have been something that like I would have thought twice about had I not used it the day before.
the day before,
yeah.
right.
And there was one of the fire pull boxes had been knocked over, like there must have been a car accident or something.
Yeah.
One of the nights that we went by. And just thinking about, how there's these little incidences that don't seem like a big deal, maybe if you're just living your life every day, but
Right.
they kind of take on more value when you're living that life like in your neighborhood, I guess,
Right.
or you're just like experiencing a pattern for a few days in a row and you see that interrupted.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting too that it's 5 days, but then not beyond, because like, for example, with those porta potties that got knocked over, well, like to us, they're still knocked over.
Yeah.
But in reality, they're probably not. They've
Right.
probably been picked up by now.
Right.
But we saw them standing, and then we saw them knocked over, and then we didn't see them standing again.
Right.
And we were there a couple more times.
Right.
So,
Right.
so yeah, that's an interesting thing where if you were living there and you were going by all the time, you would never remember like, oh yes, 2 months ago and 3 days ago, the porta potties were knocked down and they were picked up precisely 48 hours later. Like,
Right.
You might notice like, oh no, the porta potties fell down, but then they'd be back up and they'd like normal.
Yeah. So, I'm definitely going to be looking out for more of those instances.
Yeah, I like that.